Hi, sixth grade. I am Miss Talbert, and in case you don't know me, I am the district math coach for Life School, and I am here today to talk to you about representing a given situation using tables and equations. And a lot of what you did in fifth grade is going to help you support with what we're doing today. Excuse me. And everything we do today is going to help you to be successful on our district distance learning website to where you can complete all the tasks that are going to be assigned. So I want to start out with a little bit of vocabulary, and this actually goes back to fifth grade. The first relationship I have here for this equation would be an additive one. Y equals x plus 5 because y equals our sum. And we are adding to x to get our sum, which would be y. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause right here real quick so you can push pause on your video and write this down because it will help you later this week. Okay, I hope you were able to pause the video. If not, you know you can always rewind. Next, I'm going to talk about multiplicative. So for a multiplicative relationship or equation, we have y equals 5x. So in this case, y would be our product. And remember, anytime you have a number next to a letter, it's telling you that you need to multiply. So I'm going to pause real quick so you can push pause on your end and write these notes down. Okay, I hope you were able to pause and write that down. So now what I want to do is I want to look at how these relationships would look in a table. And y'all should be very familiar by now with input-output tables, so let's look at that. For example, if I wanted to represent y equals x plus 3, then what I would need to do is, so let's just say I'm going to put a 2 here, okay? So if x is 2, I know that x plus 3 equals y. So I'm going to need to add 3 to my 2 to get y. So 2 plus 3, of course, would be 5. Okay, and then we can just keep going from there. If I wanted to do, let's just say I wanted to do a 5 here as my x, then x plus 3 would be 8. So y would equal 8. I'll do one more quickly. Let's do 7. So 7 plus 3 would be 10. And once again, this goes back to what you did in actually third and fourth grade. Now we just have our variables up here instead of actual numbers or digits. And when you did this in fifth grade, you actually had your x and y because we did coordinate graphs, right? Okay, so now, what if I flip-flopped it and I just gave you your x and y and I didn't give you the equation? So give me just 1 second. I'm gonna go real fast. Okay, so looking at this, we're going from our x is 3, our y is 5, our x is 7, our y is 9, x is 12, y is 14. So I've got to stop and figure out what is the relationship. So looking at it pretty quickly, I can figure out, well, to go from a 3 to a 5, 7 to a 9, we are adding. We're definitely not multiplying because 3 times nothing equals 5. So 3 plus 2 is 5, 7 plus 2 is 9, 12 plus 2 is 14. So I've figured out that, first of all, this is an additive relationship. But now let's talk about how we could write that out. Now, looking at this, we would want to just say, oh, x plus 2 equals y. However, in sixth grade, they like to represent it the other way as well when we're doing a lot of our work. So we want to be ready for that. So if I was going to flip-flop that, and if I put y first, we're literally just flip-flopping. So y would equal x plus 2. So we're writing it both ways. So we'll be ready no matter what they throw our way in 6th grade, okay? All right, awesome. So now, quickly, let's talk about some multiplicative relationships and tables. And we'll start off by, let's do, one second, to make sure I don't do the one I had, okay. Okay, thank you for your patience there. So if I have y equals 3x, I need to figure out how I could solve for that in my table. So if x was 4, y equals 3x. So what are we doing with our x? We are multiplying because we have a number next to a letter, right guys? So I'm gonna just put times 3 as my little reminder here. So 4 times 3 would be 12, okay? I had a 5 here. 5 times 3 would be 15. And let's just say if I had a 6 here, 6 times 3 would be 18. So this would be an example of showing this multiplicative relationship equation in a table form. Okay, so now I am going to put information in our table, and I'm going to want you to help me figure out the relationship. All right, let's do, thank you for your patience while I do this. Okay, here we go. So we have 5 to a 10, 6 to a 12, and 9 to an 18. So 5 times what would be 10? 2. 6 times 2 would be 12. 9 times 2 would be 18. So we are multiplying by 2. Now, remember, I'm going to write this out both ways because I naturally just want to say x times, and I'm going to do a dot so we don't get confused. What am I doing? I don't even need a dot. I could do it that way. I could, but I'm going to do it the way that they represent it typically on STAR or just on your worksheets. So 2x equals y. Okay, now you also could flip-flop it. Y equals 2x. So if I wanted to know the relationship solving for y, I would write it like this. Y equals 2x. Okay? All right. So now I have some challenges for you to work on. First one is this. So I have a table here, and I want to know how could I write this relationship as an equation? And I want to know how I could solve for y, having y listed first for my relationship in the equation. So I'm going to give you just a minute to pause and work on that, and then I will have the answer for you when you come back. Okay, so I hope you paused and worked on it. And if you want to look at this really quickly. All right, so we have a 3 to a 10, a 6 to a 13, a 7 to a 14, a 10 to a 17. So I figured out that we were adding 7. So x plus 7 is our y. And so if I was to write that out that way, but if I want to have my y listed first, which would actually be my dependent variable, I would have that listed first. So y would equal x plus 7. So here you go if you want to look at it just a little closer. Now, final challenge for you guys. I want you to pause real quick and look at this information, and please write down the relationship, the equation for the information in this table, and please list y first, list your dependent variable first in your equation. Okay? So let's look at this real quick, guys. So a 2 to a 16, a 3 to a 24, a 5 to a 40, an 8 to a 64. I figured out that we were multiplying by 8, but then I want to make sure I'm listing my y first. So yes, x times 8 equals y, or 8x would equal y. But listing my dependent variable first, I have y equals 8x, because y is my product for this multiplicative pattern and relationship. Hope you can see all that. There we go. Awesome. So I hope that this helps you start the foundation of everything you're going to be working on this week. You will see this in different ways. You might see it in a coordinate graph, but if you can look at your x and y, this is nothing new. You've been doing coordinate graphs in 6th grade all year long, most of the year. You actually started that in 5th grade. So plotting those points should not be hard for you at all, but we wanted to give you just a quick foundation for this, to where you'll have your notes, you'll have examples to help you with everything you are going to be working on this week. Have a great rest of the day, 6th grade.